Take two. Okay. So everything will be done via Edmodo, everything that I can accomplish here, right? So, yes, Lord Fred. So, your quiz there at Edmodo, right? If you take your notes well, you can do your quiz easily. I'm not going to ask you anything outside of that. Open book, no problem. The entry for your journal will be in the Edmodo as well. The first thing we'll be doing is a 20, let's go and visit it and see it, okay? I'll give you example of how to do it. It's going to be declaratives of I am this, I am this, I am this, all right? And then there's something I wanted to do, which I think I will explain here and then let you do it in via Edmodo, which is the Joe Harris. It's more of a, you're going around trying, I'll explain what that is, all right? And then two. Just give me a moment. Just a moment, just a moment. Come on. Okay, let's start off with this. So let's have a recap. So this is what we did last. You don't have to take notes right now. Temperament and all except one submitted, which is very good. Except one submitted. Can I check who that is? The one who didn't submit? Do you know who you are? The one who didn't submit? That's okay this time, no problem, okay? Let me see. Oh, everyone turned in now. Okay, everything's okay now. Okay. So yeah, very good. Everyone turned in. Nice, nice, nice. So you're safe. So as long as you keep submitting what you have got to submit, it works, you're secure, all right? And it's very difficult to fail in my subject. So let's recap. So temperament so is a temperament is what? It's a combination of traits we are born with, and then again, these are inborn. You can't do anything about it. It comes with you from 6 people, right? Your 2 parents and then 4 grandparents. All right. And then your character is your civilized temperament. Yes, you've got your temperament. You can't change it, but you can modify how you relate it. If you're the type who is outgoing, you're going to be outgoing. Nothing can shake it up. But probably you can learn to be a little bit more demure, okay? If you're the type who is a little introvertish, that's how you're going to be. But then eventually you'll be shaped to learn how to engage with people furthermore. So that character is the one that's molded by your environment, your friends, your upbringing, your church, your beliefs, whatever you expose yourself to, that's going to mold you to it. And sometimes you say, I thought that person is like that kind of a thing. Huh? That's where it's because of the environment. It's because of the molding, all right? And then your personality is the face you show others again. What you see in me, what you see on the outside, is this who I am? I don't know. Okay, depends on how you are. Like, I thought you're a nice person. Sometimes happens. That's because your personality is what you relate to others. It's like the flower that blooms, but then the stem and the roots are your character and the temperament. So far, so good. All right, let's go to the next phase of our. So let's talk about the self. What is the self? Okay, now this is where you begin to take notes. You don't have to take notes of everything, self. This one you take note, all right? So, what's the self? The self is what an individual sees, perceives, and defines oneself apart from others. Yourself is what you tell apart from others. This is me. That's you. That's you. That's you. Okay, I'm different. This is where I'm seated right here. Okay, that's not me. That's not me. That's not me. That's a self. Okay. So that's just it. It's just a lot of words saying nothing. Okay. It's just you identifying yourself apart from others. That's the self. And then there are dimensions of the self, though, right? This is who I am, but there are dimensions. The one you see, even with what you see, you have personality, you have character, you have your temperament. Those are dimensions itself. So we'll break down those dimensions right now. And then, of course, the term self, and you have a self-perception, self-awareness, self-control, self-esteem, self. You can attach all the self add-ons to that, right? So it comes from the place. And one of the things is that you have the dimensions of self that are divided into. What are the three dimensions? There are three dimensions of self. Depending on what you study, it might be different. But this is me saying, this is me with a microphone. So I'm saying there are three dimensions, right? If you read somebody else's research, it might be 5 dimensions. It could be 2 dimensions. It doesn't matter. But since you're listening to me, I say, okay, there are 3 dimensions. And at least the book that I'm studying says this. So the 3 dimensions of the self are, hey, the physical, the psychological, and the spiritual. The physical, the psychological, and the spiritual. So you have the physical dimension, you have the psychological dimension, and the spiritual dimension. And this is one thing which will help you if you understand. You are not what you feel, right? Sometimes we identify too much with how we feel that we think what we feel is who we are. No, 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 no. There are 3 dimensions to it. This is your physical self. Just because you feel sick, that's not who you are. That's the outer self. You're sick, but the real you, that's a different matter, right? Okay, the physical self, physical dimension. I should have worn a thinner mask, you know. It's too thick. Next time I'll be wiser, huh? The physical dimension, the psychological dimension, and the spiritual dimension. And if I'm a little excited, you forgive me, all right? Let's talk about that. Okay. And then, where's my mouse? Okay, here we go. Oi! Okay, let's talk about the physical dimension. The physical dimension revolves around the physical body of the human being, right? Its processes, functions, mechanisms, and chemistry. Well, okay, if you want to write it, okay? That's okay. If it helps you, okay? You can Google this because this is pretty much similar in every field, so you'll see this laid out everywhere. That's the physical dimension. Your skin, your flesh, all of those things, all right? The hair, the colors of the hair, your kulangot, all of those things, that's the physical self. All right, the psychological dimension. This dimension of self contains the concepts of, like, I feel stressed. Now it's not your physical body. If you don't sleep well, if you don't take care of your physical self, your psychological self is gonna be affected. All right. So you know you enjoy your Netflix marathon. That's how it is, right? There's a meme that says nobody wants to watch a 10-hour movie, right? But if it's broken down into 1 hour, into 10 hours, yay! Let's watch in one sitting. How is that? It just affects you differently, right? 10-hour movie. Well, 10-hour movie is broken into 1 hour pieces. You can do that in one sitting. That's amazing. That's a change of perspective. So your stress, the cognitions, the way you think, the way you absorb, the way you are able to relate, the way you rationalize, and your behavior, of course, the way you manifest how you feel, and your attitude. What's your attitude? the way you address situations given. How do you, anyway, we'll tackle about attitude as well. Attitude and its components we'll tackle. I'm not going to emphasize now. The emotion, emotional damage, right? The emotion, right? And ultimately your personality, how it's seen. So it has both internal and external factors. What you, the way you see yourself on the inside is going to be the way you relate with the outside world. What you see on the inside, that's how it's going to manifest outside. If you don't like somebody, that's an internal matter, right? You will react to that person outside. It'll manifest. If you like somebody, no matter how much you try to hide, you have a crush on somebody, it'll be different. Because I've gone through that period also. I get Lord Fred, no? I like someone and I try to hide that feeling so much. I can't hide it. It's manifest, right? So that's what it is, the internal factor, the external factor. And at your age, you can be open about these things. Of course, there's somebody you like. If you don't, you're a robot, okay? Yeah. Or you're lying, huh? There's somebody you like, Lord Fred? Okay. At least you're not lying there. Yeah, okay. Is it here in the class? Okay. Okay, I'm not going to put you in the situation anymore. The third one is the spiritual dimension. We'll break this down. This dimension of the self allows us to view ourselves in a spiritual level as spiritual beings. We know that there's something more than just this physical existence. There's something beyond. You're afraid. Those things. Fear is not a physical thing. It's an internal thing. And you conceive of that, and that's why you think there are demons there, and maybe there's a God out there. That concept of the self, of the dimension is a spiritual self, right? You go to a place, there are vibes there, right? You know that you go to a certain place, you feel a different vibe. Like this place is not really safe. You can feel that. That's from that realm. It's not a psychosis. It's something which is of the sixth sense that you get. It comes from the spiritual realm. Do you feel safe here for the new students? Do you feel safe in Berea? What's the vibe that Berea gives? Is it a surgeon vibe? He's a good vibe. Is it very mathematical? that comes from the spiritual realm, okay? And then, all right. So far, so good? Okay. Can I move on now? Is this okay? Okay. Let's go to this. For those of you who have been with me in convocation, if you've seen this, have I tackled this? Or you were still in grade school? So let's talk about the dimensions of a self. So you have the physical dimension, you have the psychological dimension, and you have the spiritual dimension. So for the physical dimension, of course, the physical dimension is the body, right? Where your five senses lay. What are the five senses? Your sense of sight, sense of sound, sense of smell, sense of taste, sense of touch. And then the soul, the psychological area is where you will have something called the soul realm. Now, there's a bit of confusion in terms of what the soul is. The soul is a living component. The soul is who you are. It doesn't matter, okay? Because depending on what church you're brought up with, there's no difference between the soul and the spirit. But in my understanding, because I'm the one teaching here, I'm the one sitting right here, I will say there's a difference between the soul and the spirit. Your soul is the in-between, where it enables you to connect with each other. If your body is the one that is always affected, your soul is going to be affected by that. Your soul is a neutral zone, right? And then if your spirit is strong, your soul is going to be the one that's going to be affected. So your soul is the place where you have your emotions, you have your thoughts, you have your will. Mind, will, and emotion. Your mind, you think, crazy thoughts, all those things, that's your soul area. Your will, I want to do that. I don't want to do that. I'm lazy. That's will area. That's in your soul. And your emotion, right? All the hurts that are there, it's in that zone right there. All right. Now, the spirit realm, the inner realm. Now, the soul area is the conscious realm. Your body and the soul, that's your conscious realm. You're conscious of that. And you step into deeper, you have the spiritual realm, where you're not conscious. That's the subconscious or the unconscious realm. But this is something you have to realize. We operate, depending on who the research is, again, some will say 90% of how we operate, how we live a life, some will say 75%. I think for me, I believe it's about 90 above. The percentage of how we operate or live our lives is in the subconscious level, not in our conscious, because how it is over there, what's rooted there will visually emerge. A lot of the things you do, you don't decide, it just manifests out, right? It's a response, it's a reflex. Like if I throw something to you, you catch, that's a reflex. It's not something you thought. And that reflects the realm of the reflex, the realm of the subconscious. That is how we rule our lives with 90% of your life, right? So that's a spirit realm. And then let's break this down. So in terms of the negatives, let's deal with the negatives first, the issues of negatives, how these things relate. Okay, you have the soul, the body is called the soma. In Greek, it's called we're talking about the spirit. Okay, I thought it's the body. Let's talk about the inner ones first. Wait, it's covered. Sorry. The spirit is what is called pneuma. You have a pneumatic. What's pneuma? It concerns pneumatic theory. Pneuma, it concerns something to do with in your physics. Dun, 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 dun. It's something to do with air pressure, pneuma, air. So the spirit is pneuma. It's air. It just simply means it's fleeting. You can't see it, you can't touch it. It's just air. You can feel it, but you can't see it, you can't touch it. That's the air. And then from the spirit realm, the pneuma realm, these are the negatives that manifest, all right? You have your feeling of emptiness, feeling of hopelessness, feeling of futility, lostness, loneliness. All those areas emerge from that realm, the spirit realm. The heart, that's what the scripture talks about this as the heart of man, right? That's in the negative. Excuse me. The next is the soul. It's the psyche, psychology, psychosomatic, all the areas, the things that matters to your thoughts, your will, your mind, right? Spirit is pneuma, addressing to the wind, to the air, to air pressure. Soul, psyche. This is where you have your mental anguish, you have your emotional instability, the paralysis of the will. You cannot make decisions. All those areas merge from here, okay? From the soul area. Okay. And the body is the soma. Oh, it keeps turning off. Don't turn off. The body is called soma. This is where your sicknesses, diseases, weaknesses, pain, all of those things are there, right? So this is well understood. Now, if you look at this, you'll be able to place up. That is where a lot of what you feel, a lot of what is going through, what we're going through, a lot of what is unstable is in this area. It's in this area, in the soul area, okay? In the psyche area. That is where all of those things, all the dramas of life happen there. And when that is, like you saturate yourself, you soak yourself, you ruminate there, you marinate in that, what is going on right there, and identify with that, then it seeps into your spirit area, and it's cemented over there. All right? That's where what was supposed to be mental anguish becomes emptiness, hopelessness, futility. All of those things will be the one if it seeps down. You can arrest it in the soul area. All right? You can arrest it there. And I know this is going to be a touchy subject if I said it. It's a choice. It's a choice, but you have the authority in you to actually be able to arrest that area before it seeps down. All right? How? Well, that's what we'll be able to do as we process on. Okay? That's what we'll be able to tackle. All this mental illness, all this the things you think that you feel, and once you feel and once you soak yourself there, and then that's when you're summoning yourself. And it takes about, if you are really willing to do it, it takes about, according to neuroscientists, not neurosurgeons. Neurosurgeons are those who operate on the brain. Neuroscientists are those who study the brain, see what thoughts affects, how your thinking affects, all those things. Neurosurgeon, I think Dr. Caroline Lee, one neuroscientist says this. It takes about 21 days to be able to realign everything, and the process of it can stick. So what seems to be permanent, you can actually redo it, undo it, if you're willing to devote 21 days for you to, yes, to wake up, okay? Good morning. All right. Am I making sense? Am I making sense? Yes. Am I talking? Am I talking to my, I feel like I'm just talking here. My words are bouncing back on me, all right? All right. So let's go further and let's go to the spirit. Let's talk about the spirit further. Now, if you want to bring it in the religious, this is where you connect with the higher being, which is once the thing that you know that is more than just this physical realm. This is where you connect it. So this is what they call, in the Christian context, in the spiritual context, this is called the God breathe, or the breath of life. Okay, this is the realm. God breathe. If I have to bring in the scripture, Genesis 2, God molded Adam out of the mud, and then he breathed into it. That one, that's a breath of life. So that's the same breath, that's a borrowed air you're breathing in. All right. This is God conscious. This is the area that is God conscious. Okay. This is the place of the divine, the awe, the wonder conscious. It's from that realm. And if you want to go further on in terms of this in the religious context, we communicate with God in that realm of the spirit, right? We worship God, we serve him, and understand the relationship with God. That's the realm. And this is the realm, again, which enables you to know that there's something beyond just the physical, that there's something deeper. There's something than just touching, something that can be explained, something beyond the explainable, something beyond the conceivable, something beyond understanding. That's the realm, all right? Okay. And in the Christian context, this is where God dwells. God, the divine, dwells in this realm, okay? That is what is being said. Okay, next is your soul. The soul is a place of the consummation of the body and spirit. It's a middle ground. This is where the tug of war happens. All right. See, if the demand of your body is always like, everything about your body, everything about your body. What does it want? I want, I lack, I want. You see, I want that. Okay, like it's cold, it's hot, I'm sweating, and then the taste, I want it, I don't like it. That your body is always responding like that. There's no neutral ground there. So your soul area is the consummation of it. If you always yield to what your body is wanting, like you go to a buffet, your body says, your stomach says, I'm full, but then your eye sees everything, you want to eat more, that thing, right? Yeah. I'm sure a lot of you, buffet, that's not a safe zone for me. I eat way, way, way over. All right. So that's the consummation. Now, The spirit realm, if we can train the spirit realm, the heart can be trained, right? If you train that well, that's where the realm of God is, let's say. That's where you learn how to be self-conscious, to be self-control, to be patient, how to love. The peace emanates, joy emanates, goodness, kindness, all of those things emanate from the realm of the spirit. Once you culture that, nurture that, your soul area, which is a consummation of what the spirit and the body, it's not going to be too focused on what the body demands. All right? That's where you want to train that. And everything you feel, like you feel sad a little bit, you don't have to be soaked in, you'll be able to learn how to somehow get into the boot camp of encouraging yourself. If nobody is there to encourage you, you have to encourage yourself. That comes from the realm of the spirit. All right. Otherwise, everything you speak will be negative, feed you down, until it beats you down there. You can't get out. If you're chained, you're shackled down there. You're down there, and no matter what people try to do, it can't lift you up. Why? Because you're locked in from the inside. And those kind of feeling, it's a prison where the lock is inside, not outside. Like the feeling of despair and all those things. The prison doors, the lock is inside. You're locked in, the lock is inside. You're the only one who can unlock that and come out. How can you do that? When you train your spirit realm, right? That's right. So this is about learning who you are, understanding yourself. So when you get to understand yourself, everything, the way you respond to everything emanates from there, okay? All right, and then this is the living soul. That's what people understand. This is where you are self-conscious, you're self-aware. Your body is not self-aware. It's your soul area that gives it awareness. Ouch! Those things, it fits it there, okay? It relates with, oh, that's my skin. That's my tongue. All of those things, all of those connections are fed by the soul area. The information comes from there. And your intellect, which makes men's existence possible, it comes from that area. And this is where you have something called the self, the ego that dwells. You know the three things, the it ego and the super ego. Have you encountered that? Maybe not yet. So you have the self, where you have your ego, who you are, how you conduct yourself. And if you don't treat this well, you become self-entitled, right? That's where it becomes, you have to train that to learn how to relate with everyone else. That's the soul area, okay? So far, so good? Okay, okay. Okay, that's the soul. Now let's go to the body. What about the body? From dust we came, to dust we return. There's no doubt about that, right? Our body, the composition, if you study biology, I suppose, the composition of your body is the same as the soil. Is that correct? I don't know. Okay. I just want to say this. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Okay. Direct prediction. Is that true, Joe? The composition of a body is the same as. If I'm wrong, let me know. Okay. From dust you came, to dust you return. When you die, when you extract some of it, you become soil again, right? You become fertilizer, right? Or you become worm food. Food for the worms. Right. So you're of the dust of the ground, is what it's mentioned. This is what is world conscious. This is the gateway to everything outside the physical, right? So it connects you to outside, to the world that we relate with. Okay. And as I mentioned, this is where the five sense organs rule. You see, you hear, you taste, you touch, you smell, and then you feel with the skin, you feel the way around. Okay. The five senses. That's the realm. And everything the body wants to do is to just be pleased with it. You don't like discomfort. And it's you now, of course, if the facility is not there, if you're not allowed, that's one thing. But if you have it in your power to do it, you don't want any discomfort, right? Any sort of pain, any sort of discomfort, you want to try to readjust to the comfort zone. So that is something that you have to learn, that the body just wants to steer away from anything that's discomfort. You don't want to taste anything that's bitter unless you like coffee. Yeah. So bitter, and then you like something that's sweet, which is palatable. You don't like to hear anything that is bad, but you can adjust that. You can train yourself to listen to music. For some of you, last year's music of Schoenberg, the Springer. Oh, people like this kind of music. You can train yourself even like the things you don't like. But in that realm, the body wants to adjust to being in a comfort zone. It's your mind that has to decide. Is this your body doesn't like to be conditioned? Oh, but if that's good for you, your mind has to, okay, stay there, stay there, stay there. You walk up the stairs, tired, tired, tired. You have to reach there. Your mind has to push, push, push. Now you understand? Your body doesn't want the discomfort, but your mind is the one pushing. All right. So if your mind is weak, the problem your body will just obey. You are obeying. You're not ruling anymore. You're obeying to the whims and the demands of your body already. All right. But that's not what you want. You want to be in charge of your body. I'm not telling you to deny your sleep. Okay. Your body says sleep. You say no. I want another episode. That's not what I'm talking about. All right. What's the popular TV series right now? Stranger Things. All right, one more episode. No, that's not what you want to yield to. Your body also tells you, hey, you're gonna get sick, kind of thing. Okay, so as I'm saying this, learn to dichotomize, to differentiate what's the right thing, what's the wrong thing. All right, you have to have the wisdom as well. Yes, the physical body is able to communicate with the physical. This is how you communicate. You relate with the physical world. Without your body, what will you be? You're conscious, but you don't have a body. What are you? You're fully conscious, but you have no body. Then what are you? A ghost. Your body gives you the right to be here and experience the world. Okay, so take care of your body. Wow, that's a tall order coming from me, huh? You've got to take care of your body, because without your body, something happens to your body, it affects everything, right? So you've got to take care of your body, because this is what gives it right. This is like when astronauts and cosmonauts go out of space, they have to wear a special suit to go outside, right? Something like that. Your body is like that. It enables you to experience this physical world. Without your body, your consciousness, but then you don't relate with this anymore, okay? And senses dwell in the body right there, right? Okay. So far, so good. Is it too much information? I think I will end here now. I'm not going to go further anymore. I'll go to the attitudes later on. I'll give you the last 10 minutes for working on it and uploading, okay? But I think your eyes tells me that you're enjoying for the last one for the day. And this is kind of outdated, but with the concept of self, you know personality, right? In terms of the personality types, but this is what is here. You have the 4 kinds of self, or the 4 kinds of self-expression. This is expounded by the Greek philosopher Hippocrates. Hippocrates, how do you pronounce his name? Hippocrates. I don't know how to pronounce the name. No? So he talks about 4. There are many that are the Myers and Briggs and all those things. There are many kinds of personality types, but this still stands. Okay, this is the oldest, and this is still one of the most reliable. Although the concept of how you approach it might be a little different, but this is still one of the most reliable, oldest. So you have the choleric, right? Is hyperactive, quick-tempered, hasty, sociable, and leader. That's choleric. Now, Hippocrates based it in terms of, so during those days, in the olden days, any sickness, whatever comes, they think it's the gods who's inflicting it. But Hippocrates came up with this revolutionary thought that no, it's what you eat. It's how you, if you sleep late, you're going to be sick. If you eat something wrong, you're going to be sick.